I wasn't lying when I said that I was going to be doing several discussion videos this week based on the latest chapter of One Piece, chapter 956. Because this chapter of One Piece... Open your mind! Extra mind blown. Extra mind blown. So much content to talk about. So many different things to just kind of dissect and go over. So many things to revisit and so on and so forth. So I did a video yesterday on Akainu versus Aokiji, and then that potentially, that could have been all uprooted. There'll be a card over here somewhere. Now, this video is about my man. Oh yeah, my man, Mr. All Day, Every Day, 24/7, 365. There, ha 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 ha. Blackbeard. Blackbeard is singular. Love this dude. Whatever Blackbeard does, I love it. Like, whatever he does, it's clean. For the most part. Magellan was... He underestimated Magellan, alright? It was the only stain on the dude's record. The only stain, okay? Not important though. Here's what is important. In the latest chapter of One Piece, chapter 956, Mr. All Day, Every Day is on the move. That's big. Him on the move is already big. He's a Yonko. And we know that the man has been going devil fruit hunting. CDU of the Rain has invisibility. Katarina has the mystic Zoan. And there's probably only more to come. In this chapter, when the chapter starts off, Morgans mentions 3 different things that occurred that could be big scoop, which is why he had to have a double front page, right? 2 A1s. The first was that there was a fatality. The second was that the results of the vote between the kings. And number 3 was an attempted murder. So there appears to be 3 different things that Morgans is aware of at the beginning of the chapter. Apparently, Walpole is phoning in Den Mushi, and Walpole is about to leak some scoops to Morgans. So there are potentially 4 things that are in the newspaper that are big deal. Very big deal. Furthermore, we know that according to Garp, potentially one of these things is related to Alabasta. Now, after that's all said and done, the chapter is kind of separated into like 2 main halves. The first half is the beginning of the news kind of spreading, and then the Sabo stuff. The second is the Shichibukai stuff. And that's gonna be important later on, I think, to kind of suss out what Blackbeard is trying to go for right now. What is Blackbeard's objective right now? So the first thing I want to talk about here is the difference in translations between all of the sites that I read. And the official one is, of course, the most important one, obviously. And everybody should go and read the official. You should. You really should. Very important. Even though the official is where I'm going to be leaning towards the most, obviously, I still feel like it's important to discuss what kind of went down with the other sites. Because in the other sites, the translation differed greatly, which means that the context of this chapter is gonna differ greatly for you depending on which one you read. But again, you should read the official one. Now, in one of the translations, Blackbeard says, "Hey, you lot, we're setting out. Instead of letting it land in the hand of the Marines, I'd much rather take it for myself." So the main thing here is that Blackbeard is referring to singular, it. Instead of letting it land in the hands of the Marines, I'd much rather take it for myself. That's number 1. But the other translation, it says this: "Oi, boys, to see if they're going to be picked up by the Marines, if they're gonna be picked up by the Marines, I'll grab M first." That's plural. So the context of these 2 translations is completely different. And in terms of the chapter, when it comes to the plural, there is clearly one thing: the Shichibukai, the Warlords. Now, Blackbeard has been going, again, devil fruit hunting. If you want to include Kuma still, okay, fine, fair enough. But Kuma, as far as you know, was in the Holy Land being used as a horse by Roswald and his family, number one. Number two, you have Boa Hancock and her powers. Number three, you have Buggy. So Buggy's not gonna die because Buggy's fan service, Buggy's gag, Buggy's there. Boa Hancock and Bartholomew Kuma. Kuma's ability, whoa. Kuma's ability is pretty broken. Boa Hancock's is good too, but it would work best for the female of the Blackbeard pirates, and that's Katarina Devon. And Katarina has her power already, a Mystic Zoan power. So I don't think that they would go after Boa Hancock's ability. They could give it to a guy, but I don't know, it'd be kind of weird. Just because we've seen in the context of a female using it doesn't mean that a guy couldn't use it. It's just that, again, how that worked exactly, I'm not too sure. But her power is pretty impressive. But I would still put Kuma's power a bit over Boa Hancock's power. That's what I would say. Now, that could be the case for Blackbeard, where he is going devil fruit hunting, and he's going to grab the Shichibukai. Because we do know that the Marines themselves are going for the Shichibukai. In all of the translations, what Blackbeard is doing is in direct relation to the Marines. In the official translation, Blackbeard says, if the Navy's gonna take it, I might as well claim the prize. So what is going on is directly parallel with what the Navy is doing. He's trying to beat the Navy to something. So we know that the Navy right now are allocating most of their resources for the Shichibukai. And if Blackbeard wants devil fruits, or if he wants, let's say, new crew members, the Shichibukai are prime candidates. If Blackbeard is willing to take on someone like Aokiji, someone like City of the Rain, former Impel Down Warden, former Admiral of the Navy, then why not grab some Shichibukai if you can? And those would only bolster the power of the Blackbeard pirate. But from what we know, among the Shichibukai, very few are probably going to join someone like Blackbeard. Because Boa Hancock, Luffy, that's not going to happen. Buggy may, because Buggy is a BITC than, the last letter. Buggy isn't someone that's going to be too gung-ho on being independent now that he's tasted Shichibukai status. And being under Blackbeard's wing gives you a tremendous amount of protection, clearly. Weevil, I would lean towards yes, only because I feel like innately him being a Whitebeard's son is a lie. I feel like that whole thing is a lie, and Blackbeard could let him know, well, yeah, I was on Whitebeard's ship, and honestly, dog, I've never seen Whitebeard do the funky with anybody. So, I'm sorry, brah, but no way. In fact, I was on his ship for like a very long time, and not a single time. Like, Whitebeard's a virgin, bro. So, who knows? But it could be something like that where Blackbeard can convince Weevil that what his mother is saying is wrong, it's a lie, and then he can maybe bring Weevil into the fold. That'd be kind of crazy. The other person, of course, is Dracula Mihawk. Because a lot of folks say that Mihawk will lose his life to City of the Rain. And if Blackbeard is trying to get Warlords to join his crew, he'll make the rounds. He'll talk to every Warlord and see what their deal is, like if they want in or not. And in Mihawk's case, of course it's going to be a no. But Mihawk, Blackbeard, City of the Rain, it'd be very fascinating if that were to play out. Because in that case, Mihawk could be at risk. That being said, I don't think the Shichibukai one is it. We're going to be leading here by the official translation. And the official translation, again, says this. If the Navy, well, the full quote is, pack your bags onto the ship. And mind you, in this case, he could be referring to one person, because in the other translations, he appears to be talking to his men in general. But in this case, it could be one person. So, who knows there? But either way, pack your bags onto the ship. If the Navy's only going to take it, I might as well claim the prize. So, from that standpoint of being singular, odds are it's not the Shichibukai. So the next things are relatively simple from there. Number one would be Sabo. The paper alludes to Sabo potentially being dead. It gives you that very strong feeling that Sabo has met his demise off screen in the Reverie, which I would say there's no way. But let's say that is the case. Let's say Sabo is actually dead, or let's say Sabo was captured. And we'll save all that for the Sabo video. Whatever news pertains to Sabo, Blackbeard wants the Marinara no Mi. Blackbeard and Ace, they were clearly cool when they're on the ship, until of course he killed Thatch and he started this master plan. And of course they fought each other in a very intense duel, and that intense duel is what led Blackbeard to becoming a Shichibukai. That was the next great stage in Blackbeard's plan. And in Dressrosa, when he was talking to Burgess, he said how having Burgess consume the Marinara no Mi would be like having Ace on the crew, which is something that he clearly wanted. He even asked Ace before their fight, he asked Ace if Ace could join his crew. Blackbeard and Ace, they clearly have history. So in more ways than one, Blackbeard is tremendously grateful to Ace. It is what is there. And having the Marinara no Mi, from just a power standpoint, it is, of course, a very powerful ability, but at the same time, it's probably more sentimental in Blackbeard's case, where he definitely wants that power, because again, in a sense, he is grateful to Ace. You can say that Ace is what made Blackbeard the man that he is today. Sabo having the Marinara no Mi, and then Sabo on the verge of dying because he's captured or something like that, Blackbeard's gonna want that fruit. And he's probably aware that the Marines are using a lot of their forces for the Warlords right now. Blackbeard has that intel. Blackbeard knows what's up. So he's probably gonna take this chance now, because he's not gonna have a full-on war at his midst by trying to get the Marinara no Mi. Probably. So that is the second possibility on my mind right now when it comes to what Blackbeard's objective is. The third one pertains to the fatality, because the fatality, a lot of folks believe, ties to Alabasta. Sabo played a role in this fatality, meaning that he was framed for the fatality of someone. And Garp said how this also pertains to Alabasta at the beginning of the chapter. So let's say that for some reason, somehow, some way, the Marines are aware that Pluton, the ancient weapon, has ties to Alabasta in some way, shape, or form. And in this case, the main person who is related to Pluton is King Cobra, because King Cobra knows that Crocodile was looking for Pluton, and he led Crocodile to the poneglyph underground because he himself did not know the location of where Pluton was. I believe it's alluded to that Pluton is somewhere in Alabasta, or at least a clue to finding where Pluton is within Alabasta, is in that poneglyph that Robin read. If Blackbeard's intel is that good, he could also potentially know as well. It is possible that Blackbeard is aware of the ancient weapon Pluton and how it has ties to Alabasta. Poseidon, Shirahoshi, Pluton, and Uranus, they have to play a role in the story somehow, some way. And we haven't gotten anything on them yet with the exception of Poseidon. So Pluton has ties to Alabasta. It could potentially be within Alabasta's sands. Potentially. We know that Emu was holding the picture of Vivi. He's targeting Vivi, Cobra, Alabasta in some way, shape, or form. We know that the Gorosei, when they were walking to the throne room before meeting Emu, they were talking about the Nefertari family and how that family, in some sense, betrayed the other 19 families or the other 19 royalties, and then the only royalty among that period of time that chose to stay in the quote-unquote lesser world instead of going up to the Red Line to the Holy Land. So there is that possibility as well, where maybe Cobra talked about the ancient weapons in some way, shape, or form during the Reverie. Maybe, who knows? And he mentioned how it could have some ties to their country. And if the world government is aware about that now, then Blackbeard maybe is too. But that one I think is a lot more far-fetched, because you have to do a lot in order to make it make sense to where not only the Marines, but also Blackbeard knew about Pluton having ties to Alabasta. Crocodile did, fair enough, but was Crocodile talking about this in space, everybody? I'm not too sure. I'll lean to it, probably not. Now, the next thing here would be this may all go back to Wano Kuni, because a lot of folks, for obvious reasons, Gecko Moria, his crew was led by Kaido. Gecko Moria is on Full Lead Island where Blackbeard is right now. Blackbeard is aware about what's going on with Wano Kuni, Big Mom, Kaido, and Luffy and Kid, and all the other hothead rookies going over to Wano country. Blackbeard is aware of that. And when it comes to the Navy, it's also possible that the Navy are going to take some action in Wano Kuni now. Because Kizaru was like, yeah, like, if you want me to go, I'll go. And Akainu said, no, don't do it yet. So after the Reverie, it could be the case where now they're sending Kizaru over to Wano Kuni, leading some ships and so on, to try and stop this whole thing between Big Mom and Kaido. And Blackbeard, he's hearing about this, and whatever it is, it could pertain to Wano Kuni. Now, I can't say specifically what it is, because there's a lot of its, a lot of big its in Wano Kuni. There's the Poneglyph stuff, there is Kaido's Devil Fruit potentially, there is, I mean, maybe even Big Mom's Devil Fruit. There's a whole host of Devil Fruits that he could probably get. So at the bare minimum, it just could be the Navy are going to Wano country. I want to get something specifically in Wano country. Let's go, boy. It's time to ride out. And finally, the last thing I can think of right now when it comes to Blackbeard and his objective would be Blackbeard going over to Whole Cake Island and getting the Road Poneglyph of Big Mom. Now, again, it ties to the Navy. So if the Navy are aware that Kaido and Big Mom are meeting up, they could have a play in place where the Navy, instead of going for Big Mom and Kaido directly, they go after Big Mom's territory. They uproot Big Mom's territory, and in the process, let's say the world government, they're also going to go for the Road Poneglyph to prevent anybody from reaching Raftel, something like that. And Blackbeard's like, nah, I need that to get the Raftel. Let's go. Let's roll out. So again, whatever is happening with Blackbeard right now pertains also to the Navy. Whatever the Navy is doing, Blackbeard wants to shut it down. And we know that Sabo was already there in the Holy Land, which of course is world government related, not the Navy related. So it's a give and take there. It really is. Right now, I would lean towards Blackbeard targeting the Mera Mera. That's what I would lean toward. And this is the last point that I really want to touch upon here. If you go back to the chapter again is separated into two major halves, really. Blackbeard's dialogue is in that first half, which all encompasses the Sabo stuff. The Sabo stuff is prevalent in the first half, and the Shichibukai stuff is prevalent in the second half. Now, granted, so is Doflamingo's, but in the case of Blackbeard, he clearly has more ties to Ace than Dofi. Even though Dofi had the Mera Mera fruit itself, which also ties to Sabo as well from that standpoint, the fact of the matter is that Blackbeard, he really wanted Ace to join his crew. So, I think that the target here is Sabo's Mera Mera no Mi. Now, he should probably fail because I don't think that Sabo's dead, number one. And then number two, this could be some sort of bait. Now, whether it's a bait on Sabo's part or bait on the world government's part / the Marines' part, not too sure. But I feel like this is bait in some way, shape, or form to bring out one of two people, Blackbeard or Dragon. Shichibukai, fascinating, but I don't think so if we're basing off the official translation. Pluton, a lot of loop-de-loops and hoop-de-hoops. Wano Kuni, possible, very possible, but I don't know how Luffy's gonna beat, because I would assume Wano Kuni equals Kaido, right? Get his power. I don't know how you beat that.
Holy Jesus. What is that?
I don't know how you beat a flying Chinese dragon that has darkness and earthquake powers. Okay. Alright. And then when it comes to Big Mom, it's a smart move. It's a big brain move. Big Mom is not in Thailand right now. She is not in that territory. And they are all aware of that. If there's a time to take out Big Mom's territory, the time would be now. Now, unfortunately, that means my main man Katakuri, if he's not in Wano Kuni, or nearby Wano Kuni, he may be in trouble. which is something I definitely don't want for one of the best characters in One Piece. But that's it. That's my stance on this topic. Let me know where you stand by, of course, commenting in the comment section down below, because I know that you all have a device called Zamaosu. So you use Zamaosu to, please do, click, rate the video, to click, subscribe. Of course, again, comment, let me know where you stand, and to click on that bell to join the notification squad. Peace out, y'all, and have a nice goddamn day. Mr. All Day, every day.